What's up, everybody? I'm Zach Witowich.
And I am Charlie Birtwhistle.
And today, Charlie mocks me in the intro.
I was just trying to match your voice inflection, that make sure that we're aligned and sound like a cohesive unit here.
Why is that?
Because we are aligned and we are a cohesive unit.
Is there some reason that today especially you want to make sure we're cohesive and aligned?
Well, today actually we have maybe our biggest guest ever in Zach Witowich, Director of CS. I think is your title now.
Wait, what are you talking about? What do you mean?
We do not have any external guests for this episode today. It is just going to be Zach and I talking about some changes here internally at Buildertrend. A couple very, very exciting things. Some new CS processes, CS customer success for those listening, really focused on the customer experience. We also have some exciting new value-added services and additional things that people can sign up for outside of our core subscription that we're going to cover, Buildertrend Business Insights, that we're very excited about. So this is more of a catch-up episode. We've been doing a ton of hard work, and when I say we, I mean you have been doing a ton of hard work here at Buildertrend to ensure that our customers are getting the most value out of the product that they can, and we want to highlight that today in our episode.
That's right. It's finally happening. They're letting us off the leash. We just get 20 to 30 minutes to talk about anything we want to talk about, Charlie. How are you feeling? You've been asking for this for a while.
Yeah, I'm feeling great. I think that today's episode is going to be exciting, not just for us to get to talk about things that we're passionate about, but for our customers. We're not just doing it because we want to talk unhinged for 20 minutes. We're talking about it because for our current listeners, if you're a current customer, there's a tons of things that you can be taking advantage of that Buildertrend is offering, and we want to make sure that everyone is aware of that. And if you're not a current customer, I think it will really speak to what does signing up for Buildertrend look like? How do you ensure that you're finding value from our product and applying it across your business? We want to make sure that we're not just a product that people use, but a partner for business growth and development across all of our customers. So it should be exciting. Yeah. I'm fired up.
Yeah.
How are you fired up?
This is all I've ever wanted, to just like get to talk about my team and my department and all the wonderful things that we're bringing to our customers. It's a dream come true, honestly.
Yeah, I know. Zach never shuts up about his love for customer success and his love for our customers. So today we are just going to record the way Zach normally talks, but on a microphone.
Ready. That's right.
So anyway, let's dig in. Zach,
that's right.
I think the first thing that we want to kind of cover are some of the recent changes that we've made in the customer success department.
Yeah. It's kind of an interesting story because that the evolution of the way that we work with our customers has always had a core component to it. When someone signs up for Buildertrend, of course, you're going to have someone who's going to be there to help you learn the software. That's like the number one thing you read about good customer experience, is that you have to bring value to your customers in a way that they expect. And then you got to find other ways to find value that they don't expect. So you have to deliver on their expectations, but to continue to work with them and grow them and build that long-term trust and relationship, you also have to bring that little ping in the background. Of course, when I'm talking, we've got the outlook. It's a working episode. It's like a working lunch.
Yeah.
It's a working episode. You have to build that relationship through that delivery, and Buildertrend, our backbone in the customer success department has been those relationships. Our current chief operating officer, Scott Seegert, he was our first customer success manager, is what they were called. And they were there to teach people how to use the software. And it's very natural when you grow over time, you have to start to specialize different things, because humans, turns out, can't really do everything, can't answer support questions all day, can't train customers all day, can't have high-level business decisions all day, right? It becomes really difficult because they're down to different skills. If you're in support, you're a little more solutioning. You're trying to solve problems, trying to get answers to questions. You're a little more, why isn't it working the way I thought it would work? Solving those problems and other things that come with, running a software company. If you are a great teacher, you need to be able to communicate in a way that makes sense, using analogies or, tying concepts together. You need to have that teacher mindset, which is I'm growing your skills. And sometimes that requires holding you accountable. And then the other side, really great people who manage accounts, who are able to push customers to their direction, right? Takes a different point of view, different skill set. And so Buildertrend from the beginning was very much like, we're just going to teach you how to use the software.
Yep.
And over time, our department, customer success, has grown tremendously because that was what was required as we acquired more customers. It was harder to service and have a person who had a number of accounts tied to their name and be there for all of them. So that recipe has gone through a lot of different hands. Scott Siegert, Eric Fisher, Mike Dukic, people that are well known inside the walls of Buildertrend, legends in their own right in a lot of different ways. And even at my level as a director, it's not just me. It's Eric Shearer. It's Anthony Peterson. It's Jordan Swanson. It's Taylor Ross. It's Dan Lipari. We work together and we look at these different areas to service our customers. And we try to think of the best way of like, what do customers need to be successful? And that comes in a lot of the shapes and forms. So it's never really done. I would still say like we're always trying to innovate that motion. My department is actually an industry. You can go work at other tech companies as customer success professionals where you would have to learn that industry. You could go to legal tech. You could go to educational tech. You could go to construction tech. You could go to any vertical of industry and put tech at the end. There's a CSM who's there to try and help you get more value out of the software, right? So what have we been working on is probably the follow-up question I should address after this is why they're like, don't let Zach talk. Cause he'll just.
No, I think that was great background. And I think something that you hit on that may seem obvious on the outside looking in, but is really, really hard to implement, and what your team has been driving at for years now, is teaching someone how to use the product is one problem and a problem that needs to be solved, but teaching them how to use it for their business is a harder problem and requires kind of that relationship and that back and forth and the change management process. And who are you onboarding and what features are you onboarding them and how are you doing things today, and really teaching them and training them on the value of Buildertrend, not just Buildertrend as a whole. And it's harder to do, and it's a larger problem to tackle. And I think that's really, I'll let you speak for yourself, but some of the changes that you've been making is really focused on that area specifically.
Exactly it. And Buildertrend's a business too. So there's only so many resources we can acquire in our own department in order to achieve those outcomes. So we have to be really careful about, do we over-index in just teaching the product? Or if we don't do that enough and we're just trying to show customers value, right? Maybe they don't know the product well enough and then they never actually use a good percentage of it. So it's an interwoven, ever-changing, dynamic, Zach doesn't sleep a lot at night problem, trying to figure out like what's the best way to give customers what they need really, and where they're at in their own business and journey. But it's really exciting because we always get to try new things. There's always new innovations, new technology even that we use to try and service our customers better. We've invested a lot in our digital learning. I can give some stats of our Buildertrend Learning Academy. We had 53,000 enrollments in 2023. When we launched BLA in 2021, we did 6,000. So in 3 years, we've increased the traffic there. And the number one, or the times that people are consuming that information is from 5 p.m. to 3 a.m. So someone out there is having a late grinding with a little Buildertrend videos. And then, shout out to you if you're a Building Code listener. I'll send you a hat.
Well, I think that speaks to, and we talked about it. We talked about it a ton. We talked about it in the last episode that we recorded, is just being really, really intentional around where you want your business to go. And do you want to continue to improve, or do you want to continue where you're currently at? And obviously, you can hop on with a fantastic Buildertrend coach, and they can teach you, a one-on-one lesson, and we're always going to have that support. But there's also customers out there, and I shouldn't say customers, there's just builders. There's people out there that are continuing to push forward, continuing to say, we can run our business better. We can operate more efficiently. We can get stuff done faster. We can stay under budget better. All these different things that businesses are trying to accomplish as a whole, but it does take that intentional thought and focusing on improving your business, not just the output of your business.
100%. And Buildertrend is just a part of that. I mean, that's what customer centricity really means. It's removing my department as the thing.
Right.
It's putting the customer at the center of it and asking, what does that customer need? And we're just part of it. They need a solution in the product. They need, additional information about what's happening with their business. They need someone to come in and actually set up processes for them, right?
Right.
They need an accounting platform, all these things. And that ecosystem of business ownership is really messy. What my hope of our CS team is that we help reduce the friction of trying to tie all those things together. So that is the indirect value. We work with someone at Buildertrend because they talk to contractors all day. They can understand the problems of the construction vertical. They can say, hey, I know a builder that already did this independent of the software. Here's how they handled it. And here's how we use Buildertrend to facilitate that. Does that make sense to you? And a lot of times customers are like, I would have never thought of that.
Yeah.
Right. That perspective. And that's the magic, right, of customer success, is that I can bring something that you didn't know in that ecosystem and put you at the heart of it and said, here's actually how my own customers are doing this. Does that work for you?
Yeah.
And that's been the biggest change, is trying to get to that moment sooner by eliminating some of our touch points away from, you're going to meet this person and they're going to talk about this, and you're going to meet this person and they're going to talk about this. We've really tried to get back to single ownership of the account. So at the very least, even if I have to go to the ecosystem and I have to grab additional variables to bring someone else in who is a specialist, you'll have a consistent relationship, which is very important, who can help you navigate all of our resources. Or maybe they are booked out a week, but I can get you to a BLA course. I can get you to a webinar.
Yeah.
I can get you to the specialist who is a little more available, but at least you have that person who's got your back. And, at the very least, it's not that we weren't trying to do that before. It's just redoubling down on kind of the heart of great customer success management, which is giving them an answer, and if not having it, finding a way to get it for them. Right.
Well, I think the best thing about Buildertrend is the worst thing about Buildertrend is it is a very, very large, all-encompassing platform.
It's a double-edged sword.
It is a double-edged sword. You can do everything from clocking in, like with your field crew, to very, very in-depth, selection processes and estimating. And those require very, very different skill sets.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to train or onboard or bring value to everything at once isn't necessarily the easiest and quickest way to adopt a platform and to build that solution for your business. So how can we streamline exactly what you're trying to do and get you to that value? I think we're going to use the word value a lot.
A lot of value.
A lot of value in the quickest, easiest motion possible, right?
Yeah.
That's the crux of it all.
Yeah. And that's the inherent value of that, is we're saving you time. And time at the end of the day is something that is a currency in how you actually go about living your life. So if at the very least we can get you there faster, that is creating value for you so that you're able to do other things like bring on a new customer for yourself, which creates money, value. Or you have, time to spend with your family. That matters too, right? And all those things are kind of interconnected. And that's my favorite part of working with customers, is it's not a matter of like if it happens, it's how much does it happen in a given week. That our team gets a ton of praise from our customers. And I think that is a callback to our industry, is very relationship based. They work with subtrades that are like family. We've had other podcast episodes where they talk about that. Like, they're not just people we work with. These are people we care about. And that's my hope, is that customers understand that that's what we want to be a part of for their businesses as well. Because it is bigger than just like, we're a software vendor that you run your business through, right? And so with that, another thing we've really tried to hone in on is the early parts of that onboarding period. You mentioned that. And that is the other thing, is as customers grow and their businesses change, and we want to have adequate coverage to be able to continue those relationships, and those are definitely part of it. But if we can get you there faster to where you are using the software, that's also value. And so we've spent a lot of our resources to try and visualize more clearly the plan up front.
Yeah.
And that you're touching on that, the implementation skill and the things that go with that. We've been really trying to hammer that with the customers, that we've done this before, but we recognize that maybe we weren't always clear with the customer, like that, what that endpoint really looks like. And so we've been spending time trying to define the exact steps that you need to do to be successful, and visualizing that to them through a success plan and other tools that we use to try and say to the customer, like, we've got your back. We know that we can move faster or slower based on you, the business owner who's committed to like the implementation of the software change. And we've heard a ton of positive feedback about this from our customers as well, that having that unknown of how long is it going to take,
Right.
or what exactly is the game plan, and us kind of asserting, saying this is what our recommended path is still something we're trying to actively define to make it better and better, to reduce the friction of getting data in and all the things that go along with making sure customers can use the software. But for new customers that come to Buildertrend, we want to get to the relationship faster. And if we can get you onboarded quicker, that exciting stuff really speeds that up.
Well, here's an analogy I'm thinking of just live in my head, so it may not be that good of one. But for example,
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
As the king of analogies, obviously.
Right. If we were trying to, if we were a custom home builder, and we were saying we are going to build you this house, and just showed the end version of what the house looks like, that does a horrible job of setting expectations of, hey, guess what? First, you're going to have to do a rough grade. Then you're going to have to pour a foundation. Then you're going to have to do the framing. And those aren't necessarily sexy steps. And the homeowner could be like, well, I really want to get to like picking my countertops.
When do I get
when are my windows and my exterior painting and stuff like that coming? But you have to understand that there is work to be done before we can get to those other things. So how do we do estimating? How do we do our takeoffs inside of Buildertrend? Some of those sexier features is like, it requires you importing all your cost codes. It requires you uploading all of your contacts into the system and ensuring that you have everything set up for success to build off of that. And I think just being transparent and straightforward from the start, as you guys are talking about during the onboarding process, of saying, not just we have to do these things, but this is why we have to do those things, has been a large shift over the past year or so.
And I think that's been one of the biggest identity.
Well, hold on. How is my analogy?
Oh, sorry. Actually, really good. I credit where credit's due. I like it.
Thank you.
The contractor pros would understand that as you got to do the pre-construction first before you move into production, right? And then you move into closeout. So like that's where we've missed. We've been, as Buildertrend has grown, and it's natural for businesses, as you grow, things move fast. When you move fast, you start to get away from sometimes the stuff that's obvious. Like, probably should have been telling the customer, like, I'm having you do this to show you like why, but you just have to trust me. And I think as long as you explain to customers like the context of what you're trying to do, most people are like, oh, that makes sense.
Right.
All right. And that's what we're really trying to get to, is a standardization around that for new customers. And it's not unusual. Customers who have been with us for a long time, they use 3 or 4 features and they never really kept going. And why is that? Because we never really contextualize that, like, we're just at this point, but we want to get to this point, and to do that, X, Y, Z, and it's all interconnected. That's where, going back to the beginning, someone pushing you forward to keep going is also just as important.
And having a point of view on how to get there, right, is being the subject matter experts. I mean, our account managers, they have, 500?
Now down to, that's one of the things we're trying to work on, is getting them to closer to 300, 250 accounts, so that they have the ability to onboard new customers and service their back-end customers.
Even 250, though, a ton of examples of success that they've seen, similar type builders, whether you're a custom home builder or a framer or whatever that may be,
right,
of this is how I've seen other people have success, and being that point of view of this is the route that you should take to ultimately get there, and get there as fast as possible.
Yeah. So, we're never really done. We're trying to balance our legacy customer base and our new customer base. Ideally, that transition can feel like we're making a lot of changes behind the scenes, but if there's one thing I can promise as a leader in my department, is we want to make sure you always have someone who can at least get you to where you want to go and can game plan with you. And that commitment is a tried and true part of being a great customer success.
Yeah, I mean, the definition is in the name. It's like the customer success department, the end all be all value that they offer is ensuring success for our customers.
Right. And that's the nuance. So it's interesting because a lot of people, not that anybody asked this question, but again, we're going to put this out in the ether, and I'm curious to see what people think, is like, customer success is a relatively new concept. It didn't exist.
Right.
Customer services exist for a long time.
Customer support.
But customer success is proactively telling customers, now you should go do this. And that is the difference. Not playing defense, playing offense in your analogy.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what's exciting, is there's always new stuff, because it is new. It is truly the leaders I mentioned who are, they're learning from other tech companies. I think we do a pretty great job, and I think people can learn from what we do. But that's what's really exciting, is it brings a ton of new opportunities, new ideas to our customers. And I was I'll just tell the story. I went to a vendor conference where I was talking about our CS team, about kind of how I grew our digital learning platform. And one of Buildertrend's customers was in the audience.
Oh yeah.
And she came up to me and she's like, I work for a remodeler. I also do this other thing because this is a tech conference, but I use Buildertrend, and 2-3 years ago, I was really frustrated with the way you guys kind of like handled your customer experience. I just didn't make sense. And like the changes you've been making like makes a world of difference. And I was like, we're on the right track. I know it's one example, but it felt really good. And so, if our CS team is listening, it is, I think, worth what we've gone through from a change management of our own business in order to be there for our customers. And if you're a listener out there and you haven't talked to your account manager in a while, I really would encourage you to reach out to them and start that relationship.
Give them a ring. And I think a shift that we've had, not just in the CS department, but the company as a whole, is really learning from those values and the customer-centric approach that our CS team takes and applying it across our entire business. So like our product team, for instance, is doing what they call customer ride-alongs, where they actually go out to the job site and meet with our customers, see how they're using the product, what pain points they have, and ensuring that we're building not just for the sake of building, but we're actually building to solve problems for our customers.
That's right.
Our sales team is doing a fantastic job of being less of a acquisition machine and signing up anybody and everybody and getting them credit card swipe and on to the next one, to value selling of this is why these are the problems that Buildertrend can solve, and setting those expectations the right way. So when they get onto the CS floor, they're speaking the same message. And it's not just, well, I had a pushy sales guy who got me to sign up for this because they're a really good sales guy, and now I'm not really sure what to do. It's taking that customer-centric approach across the entire landscape of Buildertrend, ensuring that we're all speaking the same message, and ensuring that the only thing that we're focused on is our customers.
Yeah. The other thing we wanted to talk about today, which part of our jobs in customer success, is to bring you innovation and bring you new things. And we've been working on a project that you were directly involved with for quite some time. And that's what's exciting, is once the magic happens and you have that trust and relationship, it becomes really natural to say like, well, what else can Buildertrend do for us? And that's when it's like, well, we've been working on this other thing that we're really excited about, and it's called Buildertrend Business Insights.
Heck yeah. And I want to set the record straight. I was involved early, and I was also involved when it wasn't very successful. So, huge shout out.
That's what we call incubation.
Yeah, 0 to 1.
Yeah.
Huge shout out to Brett Jones, Jake Braun, Scott Dauberpool,
Eric Shearer,
Eric Fisher, Adam Brem, a ton of people that took kind of this initial wild idea and actually got it to a scalable approach. So to give you a little background, this was probably 3 years ago. We had a customer here at Buildertrend University. He was actually, I can't remember his name, but he was at Lexar Homes up in Seattle. Good friends of the pod, good friends of Buildertrend.
Matt.
And he was like, look, I have 5 or 6, probably 30 different franchises.
Yeah, it's upwards of 30.
I want to understand how they're all utilizing the platform and ensure that I can hold them accountable. And Fish pulled me into a room post BTU, post a couple beers. I was like, well, Charley is a data scientist here. He could just pull all that data right now. And so just live in the conference room, I was like, here's how all your franchises are performing. He's like, what do I have to pay to get this, insight? So that's how it started, is really just ensuring that our customers have insight into not just how they're using Buildertrend, but how their business is performing. So we spun up this initiative called Custom Reporting. We got maybe 30 or so people on it, which was really just bespoke dashboards built directly for our customers, showing them how their business is performing. We have some reports, standard reports inside of Buildertrend that everyone has access to, but what we learned is everyone runs their business differently, and everyone has different areas of things that they want to monitor and track to ensure that their business is performing successfully. And that can be agnostic of how they're using Buildertrend or how they're building homes or how they're selling leads. So really what we wanted to do was take that bespoke custom reporting that we were doing and scale it so that everyone has access to their data and everyone can build their own custom reports and really tailor it towards their specific use cases. So just recently this year, so we're 3 months in right now, we launched formally Buildertrend Business Insights, which is a one-stop shop for reporting and understanding at a level of granularity that we've never had before how your business is running. So they come as standard reports out of the box. we have lead management, we have a cash flow report, we have a cash flow forecast, we
Profitability.
have profitability, warranty reports, things like that.
And we worked with customers to determine like which ones were relevant to construction.
But then
so your customer reporting, I don't want you to say you learned from it, and that's what we went and built.
Exactly. What we built as the out-of-the-box reports, but the magic really, really happens is our customers have the ability to tailor these specifically to their business. So what we call is a self-service dashboard, where if you want to view something slightly differently, you can make that change yourself. If you want to bring in custom fields that you're utilizing inside of Buildertrend to group things differently, if you want to group by project manager or job type or region, if you're working multiple locations, you can do that and make it purely your own. But the cool thing too, and we talk about the customer success team, the customer-centric approach, is we have account managers that can do the same thing that you're talking about, how to utilize Buildertrend, give that point of view of how to utilize reporting. What metrics should you be tracking? How should you monitor this? What is success? What are other companies doing? What are other benchmarks that companies have? And ensuring that you know what to look for, because that's oftentimes the hardest question is, where is the problem? What is the solution? How do I ensure that I have a pulse on my business so that I'm not caught off guard with surprises anymore?
And I'm really curious. So told the Matt Hollis story and Lexar, and they're, major friends of the pod and Buildertrend. I'm curious, for you as a data expert, someone who has been essential in Buildertrend's success of getting our data, how do you translate that to like a smaller business? Like, is there benefits to having these insights when you're new, or if you're kind of struggling? Like, why would someone want this product to help with their Buildertrend account?
Well, I would say so the way you phrase that is actually really interesting. So I'm going to divide it into two parts.
What do you mean actually? As if I'm unable to, no, I'm just kidding.
Well, I think, let me start with kind of the boring part first. Is something that we're really excited about is in Buildertrend Business Insights is it gives a tangible output for using the entire product. So a lot of times, as you were talking through, people have only adopted 2 or 3 or 4 features, and it's, why would I start using selections? Why would I start using our estimating feature? Well, the cool thing about Buildertrend Business Insights is it pulls from all the data inside of Buildertrend. So as you utilize and adopt more features, you unlock and have visibility into more insights. So if you want to understand how your lead management and pre-sale process is performing, if you start utilizing that feature, it automatically starts to populate inside of your reports. So that's one really unintended consequence. Is this a really good reward for utilizing more the carrot for utilizing more of the product and implementing it across your business. Now, the second part of your question is, why is it valuable? I think really it's, you don't know what you don't know oftentimes. And it's applicable across the construction industry as well as across Buildertrend. So I was the first data scientist at Buildertrend, and huge shout out to Dan, Steve, and Jeff for growing the business the way they did without an insights department. But as you start to have access to this data, it uncovers a lot of ugly truths from time to time. So I think what having visibility into these reports through Buildertrend Business Insights does is, one, ensures that you're operating as efficiently as possible, and roadblocks and areas of improvement before it's too late, and you can be proactive in running your business. And 2, it allows you to set goals and benchmarks on how you want to grow. Everyone says they want to grow, or they want to be more efficient, or they want to reduce costs. How do you measure that without having a report or a KPI or a metric or whatever buzzword you want to say to have a goal in mind? So just goal setting is, hey, I want to reduce our, lead to close time, or I want to reduce our pre-construction process, or I want to reduce the number of, warranty follow-ups that we have to, apply across our different projects as well. It's like, this is going to allow you to set those goals, monitor the metrics and success of implementing those different processes, and then ultimately celebrate the success of those achievements. And so just the goal setting and the monitoring is huge if people have a growth mindset and want to improve on those things, you have to be able to measure it.
Which we talk about that a lot here on the building code of in order to make good business decisions, you have to proactively look for answers. And I think that's, for me, the thing I'm really excited about, because I would go to these businesses and I would ask them questions about, well, what are your KPIs? And they're like, I don't know how to set them. I don't know what they should be. And now for us to be able to say, well, here's what the industry, working with customers, we created for you to give you those standards. We can tweak it to your processes and what you can do with the different options that we offer, right? Or maybe you already have BI tools that you're using that you just want the Buildertrend data. Like, we can now provide different offerings to meet customers where they're at, whether you're getting started with Buildertrend and you need a reason to keep going and onboard quicker so you can get to the fun stuff, or you're a really mature Buildertrend user that just wants more out of what the system can provide, because there's great insights outside of even just like budgeting.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about. And that's what customer success is all about, is bringing that value to customers and saying, like, this is a really great opportunity for you to keep improving what you're doing and being a better business. And a year from now, imagine where you could be.
I know we're getting close to time here, so I'll get a little bit into the nitty gritty of just what these offerings are, because you alluded to it a bit. Is the standard out of the box reports, they come in a BI platform that you directly have access to. That's branded for you. It's your data, it's your reports. And then you have, as I mentioned, the ability to edit and tweak those and customize them specifically towards your business. That's called Buildertrend Analytics. We also have a data flow, which is if you already have a BI tool or you already have your in-house analytics team and you just want access to your data, we can populate it inside of a bucket for you to actually go in and pull into your system. So you don't have to purchase the entire BI platform if you already have your own in-house things. We also offer, which I'm really excited about, just data consulting. So we have in-house data scientists that are working with literally hundreds of builders, setting KPIs, understanding what things they want to improve on, what problems they're trying to solve, and how to measure those. If you just want to talk to a data scientist, we will help guide that conversation and ensure that you're finding value across your data, and that it is in parallel with what the industry is doing as a whole. So your call earlier, for if you haven't reached out to your account manager for a while, reach out.
You never know.
Have that conversation, build up that relationship, because we're going to continue to push and ensure that you're continuing to find value. And if you're looking for a great icebreaker and segue into reaching back out, ask about Buildertrend Business Insights, because it is something that we're seeing gain a ton of traction and a ton of customers are signing up for and finding success with. And we want to ensure that all of our customers across any industry, any continent, everywhere, have access to their metrics and ensure that they are able to monitor how their business is performing.
I love it. Well, I think that about covers it.
Yeah, we went a little long, but not too bad. The over-under I had set in my head was like 45 minutes, which I knew was going to be way too long. But we're coming in a little under that.
You think they'll let us join the alumni club of...
No, I think this is probably our one shot.
This is one shot? All right. Yeah. Well, if you love Charlie and I riffing and talking about things that we're working on, please let us know in all of our social platforms. We need a campaign to let Zach and Charlie just talk into the wind.
When you reach out to your account manager, say, hey, I heard on the building code that I should be doing this.
Let's get some referrals going on here. We need that. We really appreciate you listening. Hopefully it gave you some insight of what we're doing internally and just in general about customer experience and other areas and what we're cooking at Buildertrend. It was a lot of fun for us. This is The Building Code. I'm Zach Witovich.
And I'm Charlie Birtwhistle.
We'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the video. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for exclusive content brought to you by Buildertrend.